Let's take a look at the first exercise in number 14, arrays and loops, which is count. So if you reference an index outside of the length of the array, your program will crash with a fatal error. So how do you make sure this doesn't happen? Well, we know the total number of items by using the count property. Let devices equals, and we got 0, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 items, and that tells us the count. Now, the only safe indices to use in an array are those less than the count. Using what you've learned about making decisions, write an if statement that will only access the array if the value of index is less than the array's count. Uncomment and update the code below, then update the index constant to different numbers and see the results. So, if I press command / it removes that comment, and then I remove this comment. The comparison statement is going to be if index is less than devices.count, then it's going to call this, you're going to return this value. So here we say devices index. Now, what if I change this to 5? Then it doesn't run the line. Notice we didn't get an error because when we check, we say if index, which is 5, is less than devices.count, it's going to run that line. Well, it is not less, so there we go. We didn't have a fatal error. Let's check out the next exercise. Karaoke host. All right, you got a friend who loves singing karaoke with a big group of people. They add songs they'd like to sing to a list, and the karaoke host calls out the songs one by one. Let's write some software to manage the song list. Create an empty array to hold song titles as strings. Use the append method to add 3 or 4 songs one at a time. So we start with var, and then let's say song list equals, and then we use the square brace, and we say string, this is of type string, and then open close parentheses. So now we've created an empty array of strings. It says use the append method to add 3 or 4 songs one at a time. All right, song list dot append, and let's say let's say let it go from Frozen. You gotta love that one. Song list dot append. What else? Old MacDonald had a farm. Love it. Song list dot append. We're gonna say, oh, I don't know. We could sing Mary Had a Little Lamb. All right. Now, somebody wants to add 3 songs at once, so created an array holding this one singer's song list and used the plus equals to append their whole list to the end of the group song list. All right, well, what we do is we say var friends list equals, and then we're just going to create a list. We're going to say song 1, song 2, song 3. Of course, you can add your own list of songs, but I'm just going to go through this so you see how it works. Now, we need to append the whole list to the end of ours. So now we say song list plus equals friends list. Awesome. Check that out. Okay, now write a for in loop, and for every song, print an encouraging announcement to let the next singer know that it's their turn. Okay, so we're going to say for song in song list Now we're going to say print, what should we say? What should we say? Well, let's see. Every song title, print encouraging us to let the next singer know. Say, all right, it's time for, and then we're going to reference the variable song. Come on down. Okay, so it's time for Let It Go. Come on down. It's time for Old MacDonald Had a Farm. Come on down. After the loop has called everyone up to sing, use the remove all method on the song list to clear out all the past songs. Okay, song list dot remove all. There it is. What does it look like? It's empty. All right, let's check out the next one, counting votes. Exercise counting votes. You're implementing a poll app for your class. You have basic yes/no question counter. Now you have your first batch of answers back. But it is a lot of data. Now, don't worry. When you're planning it to loop over 2,000, you'll write the loop in the same way. Look at that. That is a lot. A lot of items. This is too many votes to tally quickly by hand, so you write some code to do it for you. Now, this is also a lot of votes for Swift to use type inference to determine what kind of array it has. The type annotation is written in the array literals above to tell Swift the type of array. This prevents the playground from running slowly. So here, notice how you have the type declaration here. This helps it so that it processes the code much easier. Awesome. Now create two variables, one to count yes and one to count no. Each should start off with a value of 0. All right. Let yes vote equal 0. Let no vote, actually let me change that to votes equals 0. Now, create a for in loop that loops over one of the vote collections and checks the value of each vote. If the vote is true, the loop should add one to yes. If it is false, it should add one to no. All right, so the first one is called Should Mascot Change Votes? For vote in should mascot change votes, we're going to say if vote equals true, then we're going to say yes votes plus equals 1. Else oh, you see the error already? Yep, I wasn't thinking. We want a variable. I said let. We want var. Glad you noticed it. Okay. Plus equal 1. Now, let's check it out. Notice yes votes are 125 and no votes are 75. All right, now after the loop has finished, write an if statement that compares the two values and prints a different message based on whether the vote passed or failed. If yes votes is greater than no votes, we say print the yeses win. Else print the no's win. And the answer is the yeses win. Now test your code by calling the for loop on each of the vote collections, which measures one by popular vote. Okay, so we have should mascot change votes, should install coffee vending machine votes. All right, let's check that out. Should Install coffee vending machines. And the answer is the no's win. Now, notice here though, they're equal. We don't have a condition for that, but we'll look at that another time. Now let's look at the last one. Should have more poll option votes. The no's win. Awesome. Now, the for in loop would be even more powerful if you could reuse it. The easiest way to reuse it, put it in a function. Now, write a function that takes two arguments, a string describing the issue being voted on and an array with the issue's Boolean votes. Move the for in loop and the if statement inside the function so it prints the results when you call the function with a particular issue's arguments. You'd be able to call the function like this. Print results for issue with votes. Printed, should we change the mascot? 54 yes, 54 no. Okay, so we have function print results for issue, which is of type string, with votes, which is of type bool. Whoops, bool, like that. And then we're going to return a string. And right now, we're just going to return an empty string because I need to copy and paste. Okay, so let's take this code up here. Let's copy this, or actually let's just cut it. Press Command X. Cut that. And then I'm going to paste it here. Then I'm going to take this line. Cut this here. And instead, notice what it says. Whoops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put it right here. I'm going to put it after this. Now let's clean this up a little bit. Okay, so print the results when you call the function. You should be able to call the function like this. Message should be printed to the console. Okay, so in this case, we're not going to use the comparison. Instead, we're just going to print, should we change the mascot? Question mark. Actually, I take that back. What we want is the issue. So we say, we're going to say for issue and then for issue change should, okay, for issue, and then we're going to say a space, and then we're going to say yes votes, and then we say yes, and then we do no votes, and we say no, and we close it. All right, and I realize we print the message to the console. I realize that we don't need to return anything, so let's back this up. Let's just remove that and remove this. Now, let's call the method print results for issue should we change the mascot. I can't spell. With votes Boolean, and we're going to say which one is it? Should Should mascot change votes? Should mascot change? Should mascot change votes? Now, there's one error in this array, in this function, and the reason is that I needed to use an array literal by putting this in square brackets. Now, what we're saying is we're passing in an array of Booleans. So now, let's check that out and see what happens. And there we go. Should we change the mascot? 74 yes, 126 no. The no's have it. All right, let's go on to goals. Now think of a goal that can be measured in progress every day, whether it's minutes spent exercising, number of photos sent, hours sleeping, or number of words written. Create an array literal with 20 to 25 items of simple data, something like miles biked. Feel free to make up or embellish numbers. Make sure to choose the right kind of array for your data, whether it's a double or an int. All right, so we're going to say let hours slept. And we're going to start with 5, 5, 6, 6, 3. That was a long night. 9. That was a weekend. 8, 4, 6, 20. I may have been sick that day. 8. All right. Now, write a function that takes the daily number as an argument and returns a message as a string. Return a different message based on how close the number comes to your goal. You can be ambitious and be creative as you'd like with your responses. Make sure you return at least 2 different messages depending on your daily progress. Okay, so we're going to say function daily progress. And it's going to take the number. It's going to say, we're just going to say daily number, which is an int. And then it's going to return a string. Oops, I forgot the text arrow. Here we go. String. And then return. And we'll update that here in a second. Now, so let daily goal equal, what's our goal? Well, the goal is 8 hours of sleep. That's the goal. Now, we say if daily number equals daily goal, then we're going to say return perfect night's sleep. Congratulations. Else, if daily number is less than daily goal, we're going to return not quite, need more sleep. Else, we're going to say, because if it's not less than, that means it's greater, then we're going to say else easy, don't sleep your life away. All right, then we can delete this. Okay, now we're going to say write a function takes daily number, returns a message as a string. Okay. Now, there's our thing. Now, write a for in loop that loops over your sample data, calls your function, get an appropriate message for each item, and prints the message to the console. So, we're going to say for daily value in daily progress. That's not what we wanted. For daily value in hours slept. Sorry, I've mistaken that. Daily value in hours slept. Now we're going to say daily progress, daily value. All right, let's see how that goes. Oh, sorry, I didn't read the right part. We're going to say var daily message equals daily progress, and then we can say print daily message. Let's see how that goes. Okay, not quite. Need more sleep. Not quite easy. Don't sleep your life away. Perfect night's sleep. All right, let's take a look at the last one. Screening messages. So we now have a huge list of messages about a series of characters. The list contained in the Alice messages console will try to print out the Alice messages ready to see the whole list, but beware, it's large enough it may cause your playground to run slowly. The caterpillar has asked you to go through the messages to relay any that contain the caterpillar's name. Instead of reading all the text, you decide to write more code. So create a for-in loop to process the Alice messages. In the body of the loop, check whether each message contains the string caterpillar. If the message refers to the caterpillar, print it to the console. Now, the contains method is part of foundation that you read about in the types. If you try using it, get an error value type string. Follow the instructions from that playground to import the framework into your project. Okay, now let's take a look at that. So we say for message in Alice messages. We say if message dot contains caterpillar. Make sure you caterpillar. Then what happens? Process the messages in the body. Check whether the message contains the string. If the message is printed to the console. Message. All right. Now check that out. It happens 24 times. Look at that. He's pretty popular. All right, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out the next videos.